Welcome back. Welcome back to the Crypto Report, everybody. Hope you're doing well. We've got breaking news. Matt Crafter, how you doing in the chat? Vocals. What's good? What's great? I hope it's all great, guys. Look, here's the deal. Okay? Change the tunes up. Your patience is being tested. How much patience do you have for crypto? How much patience do you have for these political games to stop? How much patience do you have for an altcoin season? Lot of patience if you're still here, that's for sure. But you might need some more. And we've talked about a couple things lately, on repeat with these tariffs. You guys know the situation, but there is new breaking news with the tariffs today that we need to chat through a little bit. We've got some of that going on. I've got a couple other stories for you to share. Not a tremendous amount of news today, but I do want to talk through really a price level that I discussed yesterday. I told you guys yesterday, Bitcoin could easily tap back down to 83K. It did and got a bounce. There was an opportunity for a long. Trading is really the way to be making money right now in my eyes, because the holding is we're just holding. We might even have some more discounts coming up, as I've been talking about 71K, 65K Bitcoin. I'm tired of being bearish in the short term, guys, but you call the spade, and you tell it how it is. And what I'm seeing is more debate on tariffs, more trouble with tariffs. And at any moment, I want to remind you guys this, at any moment, in a snap of a finger, a news story could come out and change this whole landscape. But we are going to see the light at the end of this long, dark, boring chop tunnel, okay, for crypto. My daughter's screaming next door. It's wonderful. I got a 7-month-old daughter. In 2 days, she's going to be 7 months. Pretty unbelievable. Let's go ahead and get the banner up. Let's go ahead and share the screen and look at this market to start the day. Boom. All right, guys. Bitcoin's coming in at 84.9 right now. I'm going to jump right over to the Bitcoin chart because I want to talk about BTC with you. Yesterday we were surging up. We got to 86, saw some resistance. I said, hey, look, support lately been at 83K. I think we could easily have a test. I put out this level, down to this level. Came just a little slightly lower. Not a perfect level, but pretty good bounce off that. And I was talking about how there could potentially be a long opportunity on Bitcoin here if we did get a bounce. Also acknowledging that with the tariff fears, I wouldn't have been surprised to have seen this go, down a little bit more. I'm still looking out for the 71, 65K level. Those two levels specifically are important to me because on the weekly time frame, this was kind of where we stopped back in March of 2024. And then if you really zoom out and you go back to our previous bull market, you'll see that our previous high had weekly candle closes, right at that 65K range. So these are all within the realm of possibility. But in the meantime, and in the short term, you're looking at trades, you're trying to figure out what to do. It's so easy to trade long off support and short off resistance, and that's just as simple as it needs to be, okay? And you can find these levels for yourself. They're really easy. You can tune into this channel and look at my levels, but please know, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to give you financial advice, but I love looking at these markets, and I'm making trades off of some of these levels. And trading is definitely a way to earn some dollar cost averaging money while this volatility is still present and while things are just chopping to the side, okay? A lot of chop. If you guys want to do some trading, you can sign up for Blowfin using the link in the comments section, in the description down below, to the side, wherever it might be for you. I wanted to do that. Okay, beautiful. That's the screen that I like to see. Awesome. Okay. So, let's look at some of our big gainers for the day and some of our big losers. Big gainers. Wow. Whoa, baby. Core up 18%. So on any given day, an altcoin can pop, but generally, not a lot's moving. Radium's up a little bit today. Sure, up 50% over the last 7 days, but still just way down from where it was earlier. When Solana was a lot higher, if you go to the all-time chart, you're going to see we are way down from where Radium was at in December. Crazy, guys. This was at $8. Now it's at $2.30. Again, the people that buy these dips, Radium's a big protocol on Solana, but the people that buy these dips, they're going to be rewarded in the end. Radium's not a bad play for this bull market still. It's a top protocol on Solana, and Solana is a top blockchain, currently sitting at rank number 6. Guys, you can't go wrong with the top 10, okay? You just can't go wrong with the top 10. Maybe Ethereum. I don't know. I still like Ethereum, but it's not definitely... I'd rather have Bitcoin than Ethereum personally, and I'd rather have XRP or Solana than Ethereum, and that's just me. I wonder if you guys agree these days, but that's just what it is. It's very expensive, and there's a lot of competition out there. But it does have ETFs, and there is big money behind it, so I still have hope for Ethereum for the future, but not my focus anymore, that's for sure. Solana, better than Ethereum. I even think XRP is going to flip Ethereum. I've been talking a lot about that lately. And I'm curious to see what the heck happens with Cardano. I'm bullish on Cardano. Too early to make any kind of call that, we're going to see Ethereum get flipped by Cardano. Way too early to say any of that. We still have a lot of progress to see out of Cardano. Not as much excitement for the DeFi space for Cardano in any capacity compared to a Solana or even, an Ethereum at this point. But probably going to have a Cardano ETF at some point later this year, as well as a Dogecoin ETF, Solana ETF, and probably an XRP ETF. Probably going to see those at some point in 2025. I'd like to see those, and I think they will happen. Those are bullish catalysts. And, well, I am bullish on crypto in general. I want to talk to you guys about this post I put out earlier. I said, back in my day, crypto went up seemingly 24/7, and there was 100x jams every 10 seconds in the bull market. The good old days, But this is the most bearish bull market ever in terms of price action for alts, and I do believe that. It's the most bearish bull market ever. Now, it's still a bull market. A lot of these coins are still up from the lows in the bear market, and I'm not calling it a bear market, okay? I refuse to call this a bear market, because if you look at what's going on, we're just seeing more progress in crypto. First, we have a pro-crypto president. Well, first we have a Bitcoin ETF launched, okay? That was 2024. That was a great year. Then we had the Ethereum ETF launched. Less significant, still cool, still good for the future. Then we have a pro-crypto presidential candidate in RFK. Then we had a pro-crypto presidential candidate in Donald Trump. And then we almost had a pro-crypto candidate in Kamala. She didn't go that route. Maybe that hurt her a little bit. I don't know. But anyway, you got a pro-crypto president. That's Trump. Then the tariffs come out. That's pretty bad. But we've got a national strategic reserve for Bitcoin. We're not going to buy new Bitcoin yet, but there are discussions to do so. Now there's talks about tariffs, the money that the U.S. makes from tariffs, maybe using that to pump Bitcoin. But the national strategic reserve for the U.S., what I told you guys about this is when it comes along, you're going to see more competition coming on the global stage. And now breaking news, latest from China, is debating how to regulate and dispose of its growing stash of seized cryptocurrencies, with officials suggesting judicial recognition and even building a national crypto reserve. Wow. China's going to grow a national strategic reserve as well. Could be cool. Maybe they're going to buy it. Maybe we're going to start having a buying contest with China. We're just going to be fighting for all the Bitcoin, US versus China, trade wars, Bitcoin battles. It could be epic. My point is, guys, is that we kind of always saw this coming into the future. Major countries, smaller countries are going to probably just start stacking sats, okay? Start buying Bitcoin, holding Bitcoin at the very least, but probably start buying it too. And even though there's all this stuff going on with the US and China, what are the US and China doing with Bitcoin? What are they doing? I was just choked on that water. I almost just spit it all over the table. That was almost chaos. They're buying Bitcoin. They're holding Bitcoin. They're interested in Bitcoin. They're paying attention to Bitcoin, Bitcoin, okay? And if Bitcoin goes up, when Bitcoin goes up, again, our altcoins will come back. Not all of them. You got to pick the good ones. And there's certainly a lot of good ones to pick from, guys. Again, you want to have a safer play, you pick the top 10, okay? You want to go a little more risky, you pick the top, something in the top 100. You want to get real degen, you try to find the next project that's going to break into the top 100. We're not focused on that right now. We need to shore up some sure bets for the gains for this bull market. And we're looking at, you know, the ISO compliant US based cryptos that are maybe going to get a tax break. You're looking at the ones that have ETFs coming. You're looking at the ones that make sense right now. And if you're not looking at the ones that make sense right now, then you're just rolling those dice, okay? And that can pay out, guys. I do believe that even with the stupidest meme coins out there, look, Fartcoin, for example, just keeps pumping from time to time. Fartcoin. We had the squirrel. We had the hippo. We didn't have a moose yet. Maybe we will. There's going to be things like that for sure. But, to this post again, back in my day, crypto went up seemingly 24/7. I'm being a little facetious there. I think that's the word for it. But, it wasn't always 24/7. But in a bull market, it seemed like every day, you rack your brain. You think like, wasn't it just going up like forever? Well, it wasn't really just going up forever every single day. But it was doing very well in general, so it felt like that. And you had altcoin and a lot of altcoins that were pumping. A lot of 100Xs, a lot of 10Xs, very quick, very fast. Those are very hard to come by right now specifically. We will see things do that again in the future. There will be small projects that easily go 100X. Those are going to be really hard to find. There are going to be larger projects that go 10X. Those are actually still relatively easy to find. I believe Pepe, Cardano, even Solana. A lot of these things can still do a 10X very easily. I believe that. And we just need patience. And I started the stream out talking about patience because you need patience right now. And it's hard to have at this moment in time. I understand that. If you look at some of the data right now, altcoin season is not here clearly. Bitcoin dominance is continuing to go up. Now it's at 64%, getting to the top of this, probably going to have a big breakout. The top here is somewhere at about 65, maybe gets a little rejection down. Maybe it just soars up to 70%. But at some point, I still believe that Bitcoin dominance will top out. We will have some kind of altcoin season. And I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it patiently. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well. And it's tough. It's tough if you're holding altcoins right now, which is, again, why I want to continue to emphasize to you guys that Bitcoin, it's always going to be number one in the regard that if you buy Bitcoin over time, consistently, you're probably going to make a lot of money with it. I still think that you can get rich with Bitcoin if you just buy it steadily, treat it like a 401k, okay? Maybe one day we won't have to pay taxes on it too. Wouldn't that be neat? Wouldn't that be neat? It's possible. It's not out of the question. There's a lot of things that we thought were out of the question that are happening right now. But we'll see. How's it going, John? Shout out to you in the chat. How's it going, Ray, Fernando, Matt Crafter, Simon Kelly, Scotch Schwartz from the Big Island, Frank Villalobos, Mooncat, W Cortez. Shout out to, I say Ray already? I said hi to you already, Ray. You got 3 highs, I think. What the play we pumping over 86K or dropping below 80K? I would guess we're probably going to drop below 80K, maybe resistance at 86. But, if I'm looking for the upside, what's the next level for resistance to the upside? If we break, it could go up to 88. I'd say we're going to definitely, if we break to the upside, see some resistance again at like 88.6. Again, unless there's some big snap of the finger, tariffs are gone, magic that occurs. The Fed is going to speak later today. Somebody was asking me about that. How's it going? The principal in the chat. I hope you're doing well, Mr. Principal. Mr. Principal. I wanted to talk about, where was it? What did I want to talk about? Oh, no. We're going to talk about the Fed is going to talk later today. Anyway, I don't know where the story is, but the Fed is going to talk later today, 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. So that's coming up. It hasn't happened yet, but he'll be speaking later today, giving some thoughts. Let's see if that has any kind of effect on the market. If he comes in and starts talking about rate cuts, like the bad news rate cuts, which is just rate cuts, which is technically good news for risk on assets. If he starts talking about the bad news rate cuts that we've seen some stories about recently, we could get a little bit of a pump in the crypto market. I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen. But again, 88 would kind of be my, oh my gosh, Scott, that must have been a typo. Wow. Oh boy. I want to delete that post and retry, Scott. Jeez. But anyway, yeah, I think we might get some emergency rate cuts. Rate cuts. Kip, do you kind of get an altcoin season bull run? Has altcoin season been destroyed by memes? No. I don't think altcoin season's been destroyed by memes. I mean, memes were kind of the altcoin season for a period of time. But again, when our total market cap kind of comes roaring back, and I think it will, then it's going to be beautiful. And, a lot of the good altcoins are going to surge, and a lot of the not good ones are going to surge too. And so we'll have more opportunities, guys. I do believe that. It always happens in crypto. Even though it's not like the good old days and we're seeing it every day or every second, again, most bearish bull market we've ever been in, but it's still a bull market, I think. So we've kind of got some interesting things going on where first off, Bitcoin buckles as U.S. slaps 245% tariff on China. This was put out today, excuse me. And there's another 245% tariff on China. The bar has been raised at 245%. The U.S. imposes 245% tariffs on Chinese goods, escalating trade tensions with global uncertainty. What I did see, though, is that, there are some other stories going about this that you should be paying attention to. And if you look at the reality of the situation, yes, there are big tariffs right now on China, but let's set aside China. And there are 15 large trading partners. We set aside China. There are 14 besides China that they're in rapid motion and setting up a process for the 14 largest trading partners. So there are negotiations going on because of these tariffs that could result in some good things in the future. Besides China, there are steps in the right direction with this. And so that's your excitement, that's your optimism in the pain that comes with tariffs and China tariffs. But there are good things happening. We still need to see clarity with China because China is withholding natural or raw materials from us for tech. We need to get resolve on this, and until we get resolved with China, it's probably gonna continue to keep a damper on the market, probably. But again, things are generally headed in the right direction. Steel and aluminum tariffs reinstated at 25%. So this is the conversation. Crypto markets react negatively to tariff escalation. Of course they do. Gold right now is doing very well. Well, I think Bitcoin's going to catch up. In fact, one day I think that Bitcoin's going to be bigger than gold. I just don't know why you'd buy gold when you could buy Bitcoin. Look, I like gold. I should be wearing this right now. This was my grandpa's medallion. Love it. It's great. I'm a big gold guy. I love it. But I like Bitcoin more, okay? I like Bitcoin more. Bitcoin's digital gold. And, no doubt it's a tough time. This is all that everybody can kind of talk about. Now, we do see some other stories like this. China signals readiness for talks if U.S. shows respect. Well, here, I respect you. Here's a 220% tariff. Boom. I don't know. So we've got really mixed signals going on, but just generally like turmoil, fear, chaos, concern, buying opportunities, folks. Okay. Focals, pokals, buying opportunities. Okay. Okay. All right. So, want to talk about, this. Tough times. Bitcoin miners are selling more Bitcoin to make ends meet. Bitcoin miners are dumping more coins to keep their heads above water, says CryptoQuant, setting the depressed price and growing difficulty. The difficulty to mine Bitcoin is getting harder. The price action is pretty weak. And so to keep their operations up and running, they're selling Bitcoin, more selling pressure. If all of a sudden the price of Bitcoin explodes, that selling pressure can go away because then their prices go up. They're gonna have more money. They're gonna be in a better situation. The Bitcoin that they mine are gonna be worth more, and that means something. The supply of Bitcoin is going to continue to dwindle. One day, if you're privileged enough to own a Bitcoin, you could get rich with that Bitcoin. I believe that Bitcoin will be above $1 million one day. I believe that Bitcoin will be bigger than gold one day. These are things that I believe. These are things that I think are real. Let's look at some liquidations just to check it out. How's it going, Crypto Runner? Daryl Young in the chat. The real ape father. TBC says you can touch gold. You sure can. You sure can. Let's look at some liquidations real quick. I'll keep it on the chat. Liquidations are down a little bit. Chop, 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 chop. Volatility. Great trading. If you want to trade, sign up for Blowfin using our link. Again, there is up to a $5,000 deposit bonus, and you can check that out if you haven't done so already. Looking for resistance at 88 now. Looking at support still at 83. Kind of in no man's land right now. Not a great moment for a trade at this very moment in time, I don't think. If you're in a trade and you got on that trade off of 83 and you're in a long right now, beautiful. Did you take profits? It's kind of the way you do it. This is the way I think about it. It's very simple. A big user on his live said, miners aren't selling BTC. Preach. Yeah, but they are. So they are selling Bitcoin. Not all of it. They're still holding Bitcoin. They're in the Bitcoin business. Of course they're holding Bitcoin, but they're selling some right now to stay operational. Not all of them, but they are. It's happening. Okay. Long term for Pepe. I'm still bullish on Pepe, guys. I mean, look, it's getting crushed. I get it. So are all the alts, but still bullish on Pepe, guys. Let me tell you. Let's look at this too. And I always like coming back to these super charts. No, not the super charts. Not the super charts. I like looking at, maybe they are the super charts. Are they the super charts? No, I just did the same thing. I always like looking at the charts, market cycle charts. Stock to flow model is good. You know, is this thing invalidated? This is the ongoing battle in my brain. There is this idea, I believe it's called the S curve. Is it the S curve? Where maybe crypto is going to kind of go like this and then come back up, right? We kind of had this logarithmic band this way. Whoosh, it's kind of like this pattern where it kind of goes a little less high over time. But we could be coming into that moment where maybe it does shoot up. I still think there's going to be volatilities on the way. But if you look at the S&P 500, it just basically goes like this or like this, up. I don't know which way you're looking at, but it just goes up over time. That's what Bitcoin's going to do when you zoom out and we come back in 20 years. These prices are going to be a steal for Bitcoin. For this bull market, are we still looking at the stock to full model of getting up to 370, 400K, 200K? It's all possible. I'm not going to count it out. Okay, guys. China talking about the strategic reserve today. It's really awesome to see that. Maybe they're going to buy it. I know. Daryl Young. Not a lot of people are looking at some of this stuff. We got to zoom out. And this one that kind of really like puts it into perspective for me is this Bitcoin bubble index. If this was the bull market and we're in a bear market, which I don't think we're in a bear market, but if this was the totality of the bull market and like this was the highest that we're going to go in terms of like our Bitcoin bubble index in terms of, you know, this green indicator, I think that it is incongruent to the narrative, okay? To like the real facts behind crypto. Me and Black Sea both agree, like with all this bullish news for crypto, it's just shocking that it's not going up. But it's the Fed, it's inflation, it's tariffs. Is Pepe a good buy now or wait? I think you just DCA in over time if you like Pepe. And if you have a Bitcoin bag and or a Pepe bag and you're not trying to allocate any more percentage of your portfolio towards that, then you just hold it. And if you get a bigger dip, then you can buy that dip. The reality is again, if I'm talking about Bitcoin coming down to 71 or 65K, Pepe easily could have a lot more action to the downside. I'm not telling you that it will. I'm telling you that it's possible if Bitcoin slips to where I think it will. And I still think that it will. I still think that we could see Bitcoin have that slip. And that would be the last slip, I would hope. That's the one that makes sense to me. A bounce off the 2021 highs would make a lot of sense to me. Okay. It would make a lot of sense to me. Bitcoin coming back down to 65K would make a lot of sense. 71 would feel great too. It'd be painful. I get it, but it'd be great. And right now, by the way, guys, I don't remind you guys enough to tap the like button. Right now, we got to get some more likes. If you're watching on YouTube, do me a favor, tap that like button. We are putting out content even in the toughest times for crypto. If you appreciate that, whether you agree with me or disagree, we're giving you some perspective, hopefully. And tap that like button for us, okay? Just give it a little tap, okay? All right, great. Beautiful. So, China buying Bitcoin, China tariffs, China. Everybody's talking about China again. Let's look at our charts here. Bitcoin maybe back down to 83 again, could come back up, 86, 88 maybe, but I'm not gonna be hold my breath for anything spectacular here in the short term. Again, the Fed is going to speak later today. This man brings volatility to these markets. If you want to trade on this volatility, you could do so. He's probably going to come out and say something. I don't know. I mean, I'm mixed because he's probably going to come out and say something negative about tariffs and negative about inflation, but then he's going to say that he's probably going to want to do some rate cuts maybe sooner because that's kind of the way that it seems to be going, and that's bullish, but it's not great, for the long run for things. Some people are saying, that's Trump's plan. He wants to cause pain in the market, so the Fed has to cut rates. So then, the Fed can kind of rebalance things and get this thing back on track, and perhaps it works. I don't know. We got to see. There's a lot of uncertainty, okay? It's boring, and you need patience. A good YouTuber said they sold all at 76K. At 76K, they sold it at the low. Could come back lower. Sure, could come back. Who is this guy around? Who is that guy? Who are you alluding to around town? Wow. Traders. I never heard of them. Yeah, since I've been doing YouTube for crypto, I actually don't watch a lot of crypto YouTube. You're really organically getting my own opinions because I've not been on X lately. I've not been watching crypto YouTube. When you're hearing content from at least me here, I'm giving you my raw, unfiltered opinion that's truly mine. Okay. I'm not really paying attention to the other targets that anybody's calling out at all. So what I do here is totally uniquely my own perspective, and a lot of people share the same ideas because there's very obvious targets, okay? And then there's black swan events, there's green swan events, and there's yellow swan events, okay? What I'm saying is anything can happen. All of a sudden, I want you guys to remember when Trump came out the other day, and let's even go back to this. When the crypto czar David Sachs came out the other day and said that we're going to do a strategic reserve of XRP and Solana. What did that do to the prices of Solana and XRP? It shot them up that day. When Donald Trump came out and did the tariff pause, Bitcoin shot from under 80 to 86. these things can happen. So we all got to kind of keep this perspective going. And a super chat. Wow. I haven't gotten a super chat in a long time. Everybody's just been DCAing instead of giving super chats, which I love. Thank you for the $5 super chat, fam. OG Dogecoin had 5 months of downtrend before a reversal last year. We're in the 5th month of downtrend now. Think we go up from here? You know what? We're holding strong for Doge. Look at this. We're holding strong for Doge. Okay. We are. And there could be a bounce here. I don't think that there's too much more downside for Dogecoin. I wouldn't be surprised to see us come down to 13 cents or something like that. But, you know, and there's a world where even if Bitcoin slips down to 71, maybe Dogecoin does hold up on these levels. There's a world where it comes a little lower. But generally, you know, I think that Dogecoin is going to be a lot higher. There's so many bullish catalysts for Doge as well. There's going to be a Doge ETF. That's huge. Elon Musk loves Doge. He's got a Department of Government Efficiency. You might even get him to integrate Dogecoin into X payments when he actually goes live with that. So I am like optimistic about Dogecoin. Yeah, I think that it's here for the long term. What I don't love is that it's, you know, very inflationary, but again, you know, people love to speculate. People love to buy things where even if it might not make sense with the tokenomics, I think Dogecoin's going to pump again. I'm looking at my window. My little girl's on a little walk. There's another little girl in the neighborhood. It's so cute. It's so cute. Dad life. Hashtag dad life. Thanks for that super chat, fam. OG. Hopefully we see us holding here at the 13, 14 cent level. So I'm hopeful. Let's see for Doge. Let's see what happens with this tariff news, guys. Traders, reality is more stock based. Oh, okay. Is that the name of the channel? They got more stocks? Sure. Stocks are good over time. The Magnificent Eight or whatever they call it, you know, those are going to come back. Okay. They're magnificent after all, aren't they? Daryl Young says I'd get nightmares if I sold the low. I bet that guy is having nightmares. China not getting those juicy NVIDIA AI chips. Yeah. Yep. Lot of shenanigans going on. A lot of shenanigans, guys. I have a question. It's more about the EU versus the US since I feel there's tension in that area. So do you think more people in the EU will, example, store funds on USDT as always, or instead shift to a EU USDT? Well, you could just use USDC, Ray. Probably just USDC. USDT, I know, is boxed out because of the MICA thing. So, Crypto Runner says there's only one land. No, there's only one and BTC, and that is there is only one and BTC, and that is Cronos. Crowfam, where are you at? Oh, we got the Cronos bulls back. Cronos is struggling right now, no doubt about it. But I did a video, actually. I did my first Cronos video in a long time. Should probably do some more Cronos videos. I love Cronos. I love crypto.com. Did a video. It's coming out later today. So get ready for that one. Buckle up, Crypto Runner. We got a Crow video coming from yours truly. Today, a news story came out of a giant Binance burn. You're going to want to hear my take on that. I'm actually bullish. BTC dominance to 75% possibly. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Sure. 73% is kind of my target. Just because that's kind of where that wick went. Wouldn't be surprised to see it like really settle with a weekly candle close at 72. Or, you know, weekly candle to this 73.6. And maybe you're looking at like a different one. I know there's like excluding stable coins or with stable coins. But yeah, that's possible. We're looking at that and this thing looks like it's breaking out to the upside. So buckle up, buckaroo, because altcoins ain't done bleeding yet, to Bitcoin at least, and maybe to the dollar. But I remain bullish. And again, thank you, fam OG, for that super chat. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed my walkthrough on Dogecoin and my thoughts there. Uh, 96 you guys watching on X. Thanks for tuning in over there. Follow us there if you haven't done so already. Content coming every single day. Every day. Change this tune up for you. Oh. Yeah, so we're going to wait on Fed to come out later today and speak. I'm curious to see what he's going to say. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be a pump and then a dump. If I had to guess. But we'll see. Are you guys doing any trading out there? Have you guys had some successful trades? What are you trading? Talk to me, people. Matt Crafter says, this is a bearish bull market or a bullish bear market? I'm so over crypto right now, says Matt. You know, you're not the only one. No, I'm not going to live stream that, Daryl. I'm not going to live stream that one, Daryl. What time does the Fed speak at? 1:30 Eastern time. But I'm sure Black Sea will do kind of a breakdown of that later today in his afternoon video. So we'll report on it for sure. And then we'll talk about it a lot tomorrow as well. But to answer your question, Matt, I think it's a bearish bull market. And yeah, you're right to be annoyed. Again, I led the stream off. If you zoom back and you go to the beginning of this video, I said, patience, patience, patience. This is brutal. It's hard. It's difficult. I get it. But it's what you need. It's what we need right now. Patience, because Bitcoin's here, guys. It's really never been a better time for Bitcoin. And with that, we're going to have some altcoins popping eventually. Okay, folks? Not financial advice. You know the story. You know the scoop. I've been running a lot lately. I've been doing like 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then I got my golf league on Thursdays. And then Friday, I'm chilling out. And then on the weekends, I generally get out for one golf round there and then chill out on Sunday and do it all again. I've been trying to do that, lose some weight if I can. All right. Not too much else, guys. That's it. Fed speaking later today. Buckle up, buckaroo. Going to be a wild ride. If you want to do some trading on this volatility, check it out. Link in the description for Blowfin. D.R. Young with the question, do you think Mantra has a good chance of rebounding, or are you thinking they're just dead in the water? Dead in the water. I think, who cares about Mantra? Dead in the water. Could have a rebound. I don't think it takes new highs. There was a video with CoffeeZilla, and they got trashed by CoffeeZilla. Rule number 1, never take an interview with CoffeeZilla if you don't want to look terrible, because he is good at making people look horrible. I don't like CoffeeZilla, personally. I don't like him because one time he did a hit piece on crypto.com, which was the dumbest thing ever because it's a very successful company. But yeah, I'm gonna shoot straight. And look, Daryl, not financial advice. I don't want to fudge out of your mantra bags, but to be honest, if you're holding mantra, you already got crushed. So it is what it is. It is what it is. CoffeeZilla is where dead projects go to get buried. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. DCA hodl, share the love. Hey, call somebody, call a friend, call a family member. Just tell them you love them today. All right. I got a challenge for you. Tell somebody you love them today. All right. I love you. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one, guys. Peace.